All right, buckle up, everybody, because we are diving deep into what we forgot to bury today.
Ooh, sounds intense.
It is, and we're going way beyond just the plot, right?
Oh, we're getting into those characters' heads.
Unpacking their choices, their motivations, all those juicy psychological layers,
Love it. Thrillers are so good for that.
aren't they? This one especially, it really gets you thinking, like, do we ever truly know the people around us? You know?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That feeling of like, is anyone who they seem to be? Definitely a theme in this one, I think.
Absolutely. And the excerpts we've got, they start off with Elle visiting her father in prison.
Ooh, right off the bat, heavy stuff.
Really heavy. You immediately sense this weight of like unresolved issues between them.
Yeah, even the way she talks to him, like super formal, calling him inmate, not dad.
Chilling, right? You can just feel that distance.
Like, whoa, what happened there? Makes you want to find out.
Totally. We know he hurt someone, but the details are still hazy.
Classic thriller move. Keeping us in suspense.
It makes you question, like, is he actually remorseful or is this all an act?
You can't quite tell yet, right?
Yeah.
And that's what keeps you hooked.
For sure. So we've got this backdrop of secrets and suspicion.
Yeah.
And then, boom, we're thrown into this stormy night.
Ooh, love a good stormy night in a thriller.
Me too. And this mysterious teenager, Elle, shows up on Charlotte's doorstep.
The vulnerable protagonist, all alone.
Isolated location, a stranger seeking refuge. The suspense is real.
Totally. But goes deeper than that, too. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it really makes you think about the impact of trauma.
Oh, 100%. Charlotte's past, that miscarriage, the fall down the stairs.
It's shaping her present, right? All her anxieties, her distrust.
Exactly. She's on edge, constantly wary of everyone, especially someone like Elle just appearing out of nowhere.
And here's where it gets tricky, because we're getting both their points of view.
Right. Unreliable narrator territory.
We see what Charlotte's thinking, what Elle's thinking,
But their actions don't always line up with their thoughts.
making you wonder, who do you believe? It's so clever.
It really is. Do you sympathize with Charlotte, her fears? Or do you start to see Elle as more of a victim?
I'm honestly not sure yet. I'm going back and forth.
Me too, and the author blurs those lines so well.
Like when Charlotte catches Elle snooping in the garage, for example.
Red flag alert. But is it genuine curiosity or something more calculated?
Right. And then there's that moment where Elle thinks about taking those pills from Charlotte's medicine cabinet.
Yeah, it's like, wait, is she just desperate or is there something darker going on?
The author doesn't give us easy answers. Keeps us guessing.
That's what makes it so good. So we've got this mystery surrounding Elle. We've got Charlotte's trauma.
And the power dynamic between them, too.
Oh, yeah, that's so interesting. It shifts throughout the story, right?
At first, it seems obvious. Charlotte's the adult. She's in control.
She's offering shelter. She's the one with the resources.
But then Elle starts to settle in. She tests the boundaries.
Charlotte, she's so consumed by her own anxieties.
She wants to be compassionate, but those fears are blinding her in a way.
Totally. And Elle picks up on that, intentionally or not.
She's pushing buttons, gaining the upper hand.
This subtle power struggle playing out, it's amazing.
It's all happening against the backdrop of Charlotte's past, too.
Right. Those therapy sessions we get glimpses of.
She's working through so much, her relationship with Noah, that incident on the stairs, it's all there.
Shaping her perception of the present, of Elle, everything.
And then, as if things weren't complicated enough.
We find out Charlotte's pregnant. Again.
Whoa, throws a whole new wrench into things.
It does. Instead of joy, there's this overwhelming anxiety.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, is she overreacting because of her past trauma? Or is there really something more to be afraid of?
Such a good question. I think she's terrified, honestly, of history repeating itself, you know, losing another child.
Oh, wow.
And that fear, I think it makes her vulnerable to manipulation.
Like she's seeing threats where there might not be any.
Exactly. And that's where we'll leave it for now.
Ooh, cliffhanger. Can't wait to see what happens next.
Me neither. Things are about to get even more intense.
All right, I'm ready for part 2.
Let's do it.
Whew, last time, we left off with Charlotte finding out she's pregnant again.
Talk about a twist. It completely changes the game, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, she was already on edge.
Right. Dealing with her past trauma, this mysterious teenager suddenly in her life.
And now this pregnancy, it brings a whole other layer of vulnerability.
Totally. And Ella, well, she doesn't exactly make things easier.
Oh, no, not at all. Remember that whole thing with the dog?
Ugh, that blatant lie about losing it.
So manipulative, but also kind of impressive how she pulls it off.
It is. She plays on Charlotte's good nature. Her desire to help, it's almost like she knows exactly what buttons to push.
Yeah, like, is she that calculated, or is it just instinctual?
Right. Hard to tell. Part of me wants to believe she's not, like, inherently bad.
Yeah, maybe she's a product of her environment,
But then she steals Charlotte's credit cards, and it's like, whoa, red flag.
That was a turning point for me, that scene in the car, taking the cash, the cards.
It makes you question her motives, like, is she capable of empathy at all?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's Diane, her foster mother.
Oh, Diane, she's such a fascinating character.
She's not intentionally deceptive like Elle, I don't think.
No, but her issues, the alcoholism, the apathy.
It creates this, like, distorted reality around her.
It's almost like she's a bystander in her own life, you know?
Totally. Completely oblivious to the turmoil Elle's causing.
And Elle is the opposite. Hyper-aware, always scheming.
Makes you wonder, did she learn that from Diane? Or was she just born that way?
Nature versus nurture, the age-old question.
This story definitely doesn't give us the answer.
It just throws these complex characters at us, and we have to grapple with it ourselves.
I love that, though. Makes you think.
So things are already messy, and then we have Elle meeting Courtney at the diner.
Oh, that scene was electric. So much tension.
Courtney, Noah's ex-fiancée, she clearly still resents Charlotte.
Left at the altar. I mean, I get it. But the way she treats Elle, ouch.
So harsh. Humiliating her like that in front of everyone.
Definitely a power play, showing everyone who's in charge.
And it's interesting because that's when Elle really gets fixated on Charlotte's past.
The story of Jonathan Randall, right?
Mm.
Her ex-boyfriend, the one in prison.
And here's where the reader starts putting the pieces together.
We realize Elle isn't just some random teenager.
There's a connection, a reason she's there.
The author drops these hints along the way, too. It's brilliant.
Like Elle's eyes, that piercing blue, so similar to Jonathan's.
Or her defiance, her quick temper.
It's like we're solving the puzzle alongside Charlotte.
Trying to figure out who Elle really is, what she wants.
But as Elle digs deeper, the stakes get higher.
She finds that shoebox in the basement, full of Charlotte's secrets.
It's like opening Pandora's box, unleashing all this pain, these buried memories.
And the irony is, Elle's so convinced her father is innocent.
While she's actively deceiving Charlotte, the one who helped put him away.
It's such a twisted situation, a tangled web of lies.
Makes you wonder, what is truth, anyway? Is it all just perception?
Wow, deep thoughts.
Right. And just when we think it can't get more complicated.
Noah comes back from his business trip.
Talk about bad timing. Throws another wrench into the mix.
Charlotte tells him about the pregnancy and his reaction. Not exactly what you'd expect.
It's heartbreaking. You realize they're so disconnected.
Living separate lives, bound only by this shared past, and now this baby.
And Noah's constant traveling, it just adds to that distance.
They're like ships passing in the night, unable to connect.
And Elle, she sees that. She sees those cracks in their relationship.
And uses it to her advantage, manipulates both of them.
Oh, yeah. She's playing a dangerous game. And it gets even darker when she starts planting those seeds of doubt about the baby's paternity.
Ugh, so cruel playing with their emotions like that.
Makes you wonder, what's her end game? Is it revenge or something else entirely?
And then she drops the bomb. I'm Jonathan Randall's daughter.
Chills. Literal chills the way she says it.
Everything changes in that moment, right? The power dynamic completely shifts.
Charlotte's not just dealing with a troubled teen anymore.
She's face to face with the daughter of the man who's haunted her past.
And we're left hanging, wondering what happens next.
Last time, Elle dropped that huge bombshell.
Yeah, I'm Jonathan Randall's daughter.
Talk about a game changer.
Everything shifted. Like all of a sudden, Charlotte's facing her past head on.
Right. And it makes you reevaluate everything.
Like how much of Charlotte's fear is justified, you know?
Is Elle really out for revenge? Or is there something else driving her?
Honestly, I was flipping back and forth, trying to figure it out.
I get it. The author does such a good job of keeping us guessing.
And then Courtney shows up again.
Oh, Courtney. Always stirring the pot.
I know. Her motives are so hard to read.
Is she actually concerned about Charlotte?
Oh.
Or just loving the drama?
Right. There's definitely some of that, like enjoying the chaos.
But maybe also she still cares about Noah. Wants to protect him.
Yeah. Maybe, but she's so harsh with Elle. It's hard to see any real concern there.
True. It shows how even people who claim to care can hurt us.
And that ties into this whole idea of cyclical trauma, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. These characters are all caught in these patterns.
Of hurt and betrayal, repeating the mistakes of the past.
It's like a knot that keeps getting tighter.
And then Courtney drops that other bombshell about Charlotte's baby maybe not being Noah's.
Whoa, yeah, that was a curveball.
It makes you wonder, is there any truth to it?
The author is so good at planting those seeds of doubt.
Keeping us on the edge of our seats, constantly second-guessing.
It's like being in a maze, never knowing which way to turn.
And then Elle finds those hidden cameras, that recording device.
Ooh, that was creepy.
It changes everything, right? Suddenly Charlotte's the one with the secrets.
She's not just the victim anymore.
It's like she's trying to control everything, everyone around her.
It makes you question, is she capable of hurting Ella?
Yeah, the story takes on a whole new level of darkness.
And then we have that confrontation in the basement.
So intense, the tension is palpable.
We know more than Elle does at this point, right?
So there's this sense of dread, like something bad is going to happen.
And it does. Charlotte uses Elle's own trauma against her.
It's so manipulative, so cold.
It shows how easily trust can be broken, how anyone can hurt you.
And then Noah walks in.
Talk about terrible timing.
It throws everything into chaos.
The truth about the stairs comes out. We find out it was Noah.
Not Jonathan who pushed Charlotte.
It completely changes our understanding of their relationship.
Noah. He tries to justify his actions, blames Charlotte.
Classic gaslighting, trying to make her doubt her own reality.
And then he tries to force her to take those pills.
That scene was terrifying. I didn't know if she was going to make it.
Me neither. And Elle, she manages to escape.
Such a relief. I was rooting for her to get away.
And the final twist, the police were called by Charlotte's mother.
Wow, I didn't see that coming.
It shows how even seemingly minor characters can play a huge role.
And it brings the story full circle, back to this theme of motherhood.
The ending, it leaves us with so many questions, doesn't it?
It does, but I kind of like that. It lets us keep thinking about it.
It's a powerful story. It stays with you long after you finish it.
It makes you think about your own life, your own choices, those hidden sides of people.
So, what have we learned from our deep dive into what we forgot to bury?
I think, for me, it's that we never truly know anyone. Not completely.
And that sometimes the people we trust the most can be the ones who hurt us the most.
It's a chilling thought, but also maybe a reminder to be a little more aware, a little more cautious.
I think that's a great takeaway. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the dark and twisted world of secrets and lies.
It's been a wild ride. Thanks for having me.
And to all our listeners, thanks for tuning in to this deep dive. We'll see you next time for another thrilling adventure.